Hello, everybody. Welcome to Our Yard Podcast. And we're going to be doing something just a tiny little bit different today than we've been doing lately. We're going to be going back into college football, perhaps talk a little bit about NBA and hockey since the seasons are shortly coming upon us, like your mom in a high school prom. But with that being said, I am Swaggy T, along with the co host, as always, Mr. Yield Hogmaster. We're going to go straight into it. Go ahead and kick that shit.
God damn.
Oh, yeah, we're here and we're going to talk about goddamn sports for once. Sports y'all want to actually listen to. Oh. So, we're going to be talking about a little college football, maybe spitball a little bit about the NFL. We're going to be giving some NBA predictions as well as some NHL predictions, perhaps. And on this lovely Saturday, how are you doing today, man?
God damn. I'm doing all right. We're out here vibing. I don't know. It's just been a weird day. Haven't really done much of shit, but it's just been a weird day.
I understand.
Really? I started my old job back this week, so I'm like, went back to working 5/8, and I worked on Friday, and I'm like, I don't know, my days got mixed up because I've been working 4/10s, and now I'm like, I don't know, just a little off. But then this morning I just been chilling out. Been chilling out today. Talked to my cousin who lives in Pennsylvania. Watched some football. That's about it. Just been watching a bunch of ball today. That's all we got to do out here. But that being said, I guess we'll get into a few games. We're not doing it in any particular order. I guess just ones we want to talk about and highlights or lowlights of stuff. But I have to start off with them. The thing I've been keeping up with the most this season so far is the tackles leader, which now the tackles leader, like they were tied coming into the day with Isaac Smith from Mississippi State, the safety, and Shane Dolock from Buffalo, a linebacker, and which Isaac ended up getting hurt. He ended up getting hurt like the beginning of the third quarter, and against Florida, which they were. It was a. Well, I don't know if it's a good game, dude. Both of those teams are terrible, honestly. Mississippi State and Florida are horrendous. Mississippi State is just a pitiful excuse for a program. But the
Arguably the
one,
worst team in the SEC, and that's
oh
actually
yeah, they're worse than
crazy. Like,
Vanderbilt.
dude, Vandy's actually had a pretty decent season by their standards.
Oh yeah, like they haven't been blown out in the losses they've had. The two losses
Took out
they've had.
Virginia Tech, and everybody thought that game was going to go in fucking Virginia Tech's favor, except for one little person that was saying they were going to blow it. That was me. Not to toot, not to pat my own back or anything, but yeah, Vandy's been doing the damn thing this year. Fucking Pavia has been doing the Lord's work as far as like what they need in a quarterback, and I mean, you saw that today.
hmm But damn, I'll say I said Sean Dolock from Buffalo. He had 19 tackles. He had 19 fucking tackles a day. So
Jesus.
obviously with Isaac going out, he has a 12 tackle lead on him now. So he has 62 and Isaac has 50, which is great. But Isaac had 7 tackles by halftime essentially because he got hurt right at the beginning of the third. I don't know. To me, it might be a little home bias, since he's a Fulton, Mississippi boy. Shout out. I don't know. I don't know. That hit looked kind of blindsided and not a clean. I don't know. He took a bad block, and I think he's all right. I don't know. I just from my guess how he was acting, I think he's all right, but I think he was just shaking up, and Mississippi State's like, well, we're just getting the asses blown out. There's really no sense in putting our best player in when he's, like putting him back in while we're just gonna freaking lose anyways. Which I mean, I get that, but I don't know. He's a stud, man. Like he needs to be out there all he wants to and is physically able to. I mean,
I mean, he's the best
dude, like
safety in the country by far, I
dude,
think.
I swear that is I don't know. Like my cousin, I was trying to explain to him. He's like, "What does he remind you of? Like how does he play? Like, does he play run ball? Like, is he on the ball or is he off of it? Or what does he do?" I'm like, dude, really just does everything, and that's the truth. Like Isaac Smith is the most versatile safety I've seen in a long time, man. Like the best way I just told Josh, I was like, he's probably. I'm like, Isaac's probably he he's similar to a Troy Polamalu would be the best way I could describe him, which is a pretty insane compliment, insane comparison. But really, that's how I see it because like he does everything so well, and it's just he's on the ball like run. You can't run with him, like you can't pass with him or pass on him. I mean, it's crazy how good he is, especially being a sophomore. I'm excited. I mean, maybe it's going to be hell for him to catch up and be the tackles leader again. Since Sean Dolak had 19 tackles, like he's got a 12 tackle lead on him. But I
Yeah.
mean, it's going
But
to be.
but at the same time, dude, he's also a safety, and like hypothetically, based off of the positions in football, he should be nowhere fucking near Sean Dolak at right now. Like safety is supposed to be your last line of defense, not the nation's leading tackler. Like that's honestly like
Yeah,
I
pretty
love
much.
Isaac Smith. Everything I've seen from him, dude, he is going. God, he's got Steeler written all over him too. I'm sorry. Like I know that's definitely my
He needs
bias
to go
being
to
a
the
Pittsburgh
Raiders.
fan.
He needs to go to
He
the
needs to
Raiders.
go to like a defensive minded team. So either Oakland or fuck it, Oakland. I don't even care if they're in Vegas, Oakland or Pittsburgh. That's like really the only two options of like teams that I could see that could realistically develop him to being like his true potential. Personally, I'd really like to see him come to Pittsburgh, but you know, I
I mean, if he came to the Raiders, like, because honestly, I mean, I don't know, man, just the way he had. Which the Raiders, they haven't been known to have a great offense or a defense uh, over the years, but Antonio Pierce, man, he's turned them around. Like the
mm-hmm,
Raiders' defense is fucking stacked, dude. Like they don't even have like big name players, but I mean, besides Max Crosby and Christian Wilkins, but like they don't have just like huge name players. But man, they play good. Like they play together. They play so great as a group. Which is a whole nother thing about the Raiders. I could talk about them, but I'm excited about their defense, like how they're doing stuff, and like you talk about like a defensive led team, like the Steelers and Raiders are like you know, well the Steelers have been there, the Raiders are getting back there,
yeah,
and like dude, Isaac Smith, if he could like just keep this up, and if he could get drafted by the Steelers or I'll pull for him regardless, unless he goes to the Chiefs or Broncos or Chargers. But like, if he could go, I would love for him to be a Raider or I would like. I mean, hell, I'd pull for him if he was in Pittsburgh. But like,
yeah.
he'd be awesome. I don't know. He just has one of those like either one of those teams, like he just has either one of those teams just you know their names written all over him, and he's a bad summit. Like,
Oh, he's fucking great, dude. And I really do feel like the longer this season goes on and like as his college career goes on, he is definitely going to find his place among like the top defenders in the nation. I mean, fuck, he already is really. And him being
yeah,
that young, he's only hypothetically going to get better. But with the way the transfer portal works, like I can't say with certainty that he's going to remain a Bulldog the rest of his collegiate career. And whatever Mississippi
Yeah.
State fans we have listening, hate to hurt your feelings, but I mean, maybe he'll stay. I mean, I feel like he would be. I mean, he's definitely like the best thing y'all got going right now on either side of the ball. And obviously, there's a little bit of hometown bias with us being old, like, fucking IHS
Fulton. Itawamba
alumni.
Indians. Itawamba
Yeah.
Indians.
Itawamba Indian. Oh, but like, like all jokes aside, man, like I really do feel like I want to see him develop because this dude is pro potential. I mean, he could probably go into the pros right now. Like he is that good. And but that being said, going on to the other side of the state, Ole Miss right now is we're beating Georgia Southern at the moment. There's about 9.5 minutes left in the second quarter. But I know this team is capable of better. I know Georgia Southern, like a lot of people are just like, oh, they're like, is that a FCS team? It's like not quite, but they're definitely a team that you shouldn't take for granted. They're kind of like one of those like Wake Forest is probably a more like famous established version of one of those teams, but Georgia Southern is not a team you need to take lightly, or it's just going to be fucking Michigan and App State 2007 all over again. And with that being said, Jackson Dart so far, at least for me, has been the Heisman number one. Him or Ashton Giante from Boise State. And y'all probably thinking, what are you talking about Boise State for? It's like if you haven't watched this dude play, shut your damn mouth. Because he is by far not even close, without a shadow of a doubt, the best running back in the country. And there's no comparison to anybody else I can think of. This dude will just, he's fast, he's strong. Like, you can't stop what he is. And if Boise State just had a little bit stronger, just a tiny bit stronger of a schedule, then people would actually start realizing that. But there's always going to be that like bias with teams from like the MAC or the Mountain West Conference or the Sun Belt. Teams that pretty much teams that aren't in the Power Four conferences. And yeah, I was going to get your take on that. What do you think of what Ashton Giante has been doing at Boise State?
Dude, he is without a doubt a stud, man. I mean, like I think it goes. I think it goes. Being said, just looking at his stats, what he's been doing, and yeah, people can be like, well, they played Georgia Southern, which we've talked. Georgia Southern is they being a small school though, man, they are a hell of a unit. I mean, they're not a team to just take for granted. Hell, they should have beat
Oh, we
Oregon.
scored again.
Yeah, I saw the 70-yard pass. Boise State, Boise State should have beat Oregon. Honestly, I mean, he played his ass up, dude. Like that, Ashton. He is a Ashton Jonte, dude. He is a fucking monster. He's going to be a problem. I mean, hell, I hope he can. I don't even know what he is. If he's he's got 459 yards in 2 games, which is fucking crazy. He's a junior, so maybe I don't know if he'll go out this year. Maybe he'll have a badass year and then play next year, which would be cool. But I mean, as of right now, I mean, he's probably looking at the damn Heisman. He's got to be looked at as a Heisman finalist. He probably won't win because he's at Boise State, but at least look at him because my God,
Yeah, and they're
that
playing
dude.
Portland State today, so I mean, I'm expecting him to just fucking dog walk this team personally. I mean, this is going to be the second team this year he's played from Oregon, and that's really at the end of the day, that's like there's no excuse. I mean, they don't really like the players don't pick the schedules, you know, so it's you can't really blame these people for playing who they play But yeah, like his first two games, I mean, you're talking like 200 plus yards each game. Like, yeah, that first game, 20 carries for 267 yards and 6 touchdowns. And that's just on the ground. And then you go to this game he just played against Oregon, and it's like this dude's a monster, man. Like I can't think like you honest to God, dude. I don't really even think that it's like he's getting these yards off a difficulty of their schedule because he gave Oregon 192 yards and 3 touchdowns on 25 carries as well. So, and I know Oregon is definitely not the team that we all thought they were going to be this year, but they're definitely in the top 10 for a reason. I mean, Oregon is just one of those teams, they will bullshit up a win, and that's just how they do it. They are like, I'm not going to say the luckiest team in the NCAA, but one of. And like, if it had not been for Dylan Gabriel, man, they would have lost that game. Boise State
Oh yeah.
and Ashton Giante gave them everything they damn wanted. Like, you couldn't have asked for a better game out of them.
Mm-mm.
And I mean, on it, but that's what I'm saying. I feel like Ashton Giante right now, just as it stands right now, is the number one, like easily the best running back in the country. But like when it comes to like Heisman front runners, I feel like you haven't really been paying attention if you don't at least have him in your top two, and arguably not two. The quarterback race is a little bit more tight. Cam Ward from Miami has been doing really good. I think he's leading the nation in touchdowns. He's got like 11 or 12 in 3 games, which is fucking nuts to have that kind of consistency throughout and only have one interception. But I got to stick with damn Jackson Dart because Jackson Dart has, I mean, I think he's arguably the best quarterback we've had since, I mean, you can make an argument for Chad Kelly. You can make an argument for Eli Manning. You could even go all the way back to Archie. But like, the point stands, like, I was highly disappointed with how Jackson Dart's first 3 years went at Ole Miss, and he's done nothing but shut me up every week. So I can't really say shit. It ain't even halftime. He's already got 216 yards and 3 touchdowns. I don't care if it's Georgia Southern because, like we said earlier, like Georgia Southern is one of those teams like you better not take them for granted, or they're going to give you your most embarrassing loss. I already know that shit personally because we got beat by them when we were supposed to be one of the better teams in the SEC several years ago. And I think this is before they actually joined the FBS, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So, like, I know what Georgia Southern can do, but yeah, I would
But
say go ahead. Sorry.
no, I just think like Jackson Dart's just. I wasn't impressed by him last year when he came to Ole Miss. Because he transferred from South Carolina. How about Southern California from
Hmm.
USC? And I don't know. I just wasn't impressed with him. Then this should like that was my big concern about Ole Miss. Like the quarterback play is going to be weak this year. But my God, dude, they've turned around. Like Jackson Dart's playing his ass off, which I know they haven't played the SEC team yet. But you know, I really don't see much changing. Dude, they like this Ole Miss team. They just have a swagger about it. Like are they are something serious right now. They aren't like the regular Ole Miss Rebels where it's like it's like yeah they can get past these teams. No, it's like they're making a point like beating the hell out of these smaller schools to be like it's like no we're not hanging with motherfuckers like when we get to the SEC we're about to just we're gonna aim to do the same thing as just step on the throats and go. So like I mean I
That's
hope
right.
I want Ole Miss to I'm a Ohio State fan but I do pull for Ole Miss like they were my especially my Mississippi teams. Like out of my Mississippi teams, it's Ole Miss all the way.
As it should be. But but no, I
Sorry.
do feel like the biggest thing that's scary about Ole Miss this year is we have something we've never had before, Harley, a defense, and that's
Oh, dude.
bad news for any. Do what?
No, that's fuck. Yeah, right though. I mean, that defense is crazy.
Yeah, our defense. I mean, fucking Walter Nolan and Princely Meelan, man, and that's just the line, dude. Then you have like our linebacker core, fucking Chris Paul Jr. That is his name. Look it up if you don't believe me. And like you have all these people just and like this is the best Ole Miss team I've ever seen in my life. Granted, I'm only 28, but that's a long time. You got to think just to like always be like perpetually mid as hell up until like I mean we had Eli Manning and we mustered out like what was our best record with him like
Well,
nine and
like
three,
9-3, yeah.
9-3. I don't even think we went 10-2. Like we didn't go 10-2 until this last year,
Yeah.
and it's just it's been something that I've really been looking forward to. Like and also to kind of piggyback off of what you said earlier. Um, we it's crazy how Lane Kiffin has taken us, and I know Lane's not doing it by himself, but Lane Kiffin and the talent that wants to play for Lane Kiffin, you know, because Lane Kiffin, like, he's becoming a household name right before our very eyes. And I love that because instead of us being a team that has to look at our schedule and be like, oh, if we can make it past these guys, now other people are looking at us and be like, oh, shit, we got to play Ole Miss. And God, that's a beautiful feeling. But my prediction for Ole Miss this year, I think we're going to go 11-1 because we still got to play Georgia. I know we got to go to LSU, to Death Valley, and that's always a dangerous situation because Death Valley is Death Valley. You know, that fucking Louisiana Heat, the most rambunctious fans in college football. You know,
Yep.
that is a game we could easily lose, but I just don't. I don't see us losing it, man. I feel like our defense is going to at least slow down LSU because their defense hasn't improved. I
No,
don't
their
really feel
defense
like
is
they.
ass, and their defense sucks, and
Yes,
that's not good for Ole Miss. I mean, it's good for all. It's not good for them playing Ole Miss because Ole Miss, like Lane Kiffin, will expose that defense for all that they are worth.
yeah, like we have one of the most explosive offenses in the country, and you have to have a good defense to stop us, or at least, at the very least, slow us down. Because I haven't seen anybody that can even stop us yet. Again, we haven't really played anybody, but I mean, who has? I mean, fuck, we're 4 weeks into the year. There's only
Yeah,
been
a
a
lot of people
handful of
haven't
ranked
played.
teams that have had ranked opponents, and we're up there making just fucking we're making babies, making gravy, fucking doing the most beautiful work I've seen in our life. So hopefully we can keep that trajectory upward. And I believe our first SEC game is Kentucky. So that's a decent test because Kentucky is another one of those teams that's like I don't think we're going to lose to them, but it's also Kentucky. And I've talked to Harley about this before. SEC teams when they play Ole Miss would rather watch their mom die of cancer than let fucking Ole Miss score a touchdown. And that's just how it is. Like, I don't know what y'all's beef with us is, but chill out. All right. Like, it's fine. Like y'all all collectively have a winning record on us. It's our time, I hope at least. But that
Your
being
time is
said,
up.
sticking to
My
the
time is now.
right, you can't see me, but so you think you're unkiffable. But
But
the
I'll go into something else. This
go
down.
ahead.
I'll kick like to these games. I reference back. I was talking about Buffalo that Sean Dolick, leading the league and leading the nation in tackles, and having 19 today. Um, he led the way for the Buffalo Bulls to knock off number 23 Northern Illinois Huskies in a MAC game. Took them to overtime. It was such a good game. I mean, Northern Illinois went down there and they like with 2 minutes left, they were on a drive and they stalled. Now they didn't stall out. That Sean Dolick, he is a motherfucking menace. He's a senior. I hope this dude, he deserves to be drafted in the first round. This son of a bitch is one of the best linebackers I've ever seen in my life. Like I haven't. This dude is insane. Like he plays zone, dude. He plays the best zone coverage of any fucking linebacker I've like. Dude, I swear, like he reminds me of Luke Kuechly so much because or Kuechly,
Oh,
however.
dude,
He reminds me of
he is
Luke Kuechly.
smart, dude. He is a very smart. Like he already knows
He
what the
is
play
like,
is going to be before it snaps,
yeah,
dude.
like he plays zone, he plays man, like he plays, he can stop the run, he can run quarterbacks down. Like this dude is fucking a menace. And I hope like watching him, I'm like, dude, I hope he can do it. I hope he can dude, the NFL, like you had like that's the thing. I think the NFL is gonna be looking at, you have to look at the tackles leader, obviously, like and look and watch their film because like you watch this Sean Dolak and you watch fucking Isaac Smith's film and it's like you understand that these are some of the best pure tacklers that are doing it right now and like
Honestly, dream scenario is y'all get Sean Dolak because y'all are desperately needing some linebackers, and we desperately need like if we need any boost in our defense in Pittsburgh, it's definitely to the secondary. So
yeah.
like
I mean
Isaac
really
Smith.
the
But
Raiders.
dude, I close my eyes, I can already see him in a Pittsburgh uniform though, and
Oh
I
yeah.
feel like in your heart of hearts you can too.
Yeah, but I could see like Isaac Smith. I see Isaac Smith in the silver and black.
Well, we'll call that bias and leave it to that.
But like Sean Dolik, like I could see him like he does have that Steelers mentality. Like Sean like Dolik has the Steelers. He also has that Raider the I don't want like you said the Raiders need linebackers, like they do need somebody else. Like it would be nice to have a big stud like beside Robert Spillane. But really the Raiders just they need another pass rusher. Like they need somebody who can get pressure and like when I say they need somebody who can get pressure with Max Crosby, I'm not saying like Max Crosby because the only
That's
person,
hard, dude. You're
the
looking at
only
like
person,
T.J. Watt and Miles
yeah,
Garrett. That's like the only two
that's
people in the league.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the only two people that could do it like Max Crosby is like the only person is like T.J. Watt. Like Miles Garrett could too, I get, but like T.J. Watt could do it. But obviously the Raiders won't ever have like a team will not have T.J. Watt and Max Crosby on the same line. I mean that would be
That's overkill.
one, you'd have to the money you would have to spend for either one, like for both of them, is insane. And two, I don't think either one of them want to leave where they're at. Like I know Max doesn't want to leave the Raiders, and I know and T.J. Watt doesn't want to leave the Steelers. So that's pretty much that's just a pipe dream in essence. But anyways, this Sean Dolik, like from Buffalo, he's a fucking monster. He single handedly stopped Northern Illinois from scoring a touchdown and they held them to a field goal. They went to overtime, and then and then and then Buffalo blocked. They blocked Northern Illinois' field goal attempt, and they blocked the kick. They get the ball back, run it up a little bit. Honestly, uh, CJ Akbana, the quarterback from Buffalo, could have just took the damn ball in because he was about at the
Yeah,
like
that's a
20.
fast motherfucker, dude.
Dude, he was like at the 20-yard line and he went like he did an option and he went up the middle and he had a hole. I was like, dude, he's going to do it. I was like, he's about to run this in, but then he just slid so they could bring the field goal kicker out there and let him have it. I was like, dude, you could have ended in overtime with a walk-off touchdown, but he didn't. He gave it to his kicker, which is cool. But I mean, he could like I promise you, he could have had a touchdown right there at the end of it. But yeah, it was an upset. I mean, it was a great game. It was the first time Buffalo had beat a top 25 opponent since 2008 when they won the MAC. I mean, man, Buffalo, Buffalo's looking pretty stout so far this year. I didn't think they were going to be like this, but I mean, they
No,
could
they're
be a
3-1.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
don't.
they could.
I don't personally. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying. I think. I mean, they are a MAC contender. I mean, for sure, Toledo is as well. The MAC, like the MAC's gonna be fun to keep up with and to watch this year.
Make sure y'all catch that Wednesday night action later on
Heck
into the
yeah.
year.
But yeah, I mean, outside of that, I mean, we got you know just trying like some other games. I mean, I just hey, speaking of action, baby, Bowling Green is hanging with Texas A&M. It's 13-10 in the third quarter. Texas A&M, like
Hmm.
Bowling Green's out there with them. I mean,
You love
they
to see it.
we need that upset. Also, today was one of the few times, maybe the only time or second time I've ever pulled for USC. However many times I've played Michigan in my life, um, because and it ended up backfiring on me.
No, I get it.
And
It's fucking
motherfucker,
USC. I mean,
yeah, I hate them, but I hate Michigan worse than them. So, but Michigan ended up getting the win. Bunch of fucking cheaters. Fuck them. Fuck them for real.
hmm.
Damn. I don't know how. I don't know. There's some good stuff going on. Like,
Yeah. I mean, Friday we had Illinois come over fucking Nebraska. That was fun to see because fuck Big Red. I don't really have anything against them personally, but fuck them. Clemson, unfortunately, beat North Carolina State. Iowa State just absolutely dog walked Arkansas State. But I mean, what'd you expect? Um, LSU did come out on top. The UCLA LSU BR 549 half the alphabet game, and I guess you love to see it. But Louisville beat Georgia Tech. You hate to see it. Notre Dame took out their aggression from losing one of their last games to Miami of Ohio, where they beat them 28-3. And honestly, that just seems like some Notre Dame shit right there. Just we don't have a good offense, but boy, watch out for our defense. Fucking channel the spirit of goddamn Rudy.
man, that day out.
Penn State absolutely dog walked Kent State. Honestly, Kent State's just been through the ringer these past few weeks. First it was Tennessee, and now it's Penn State. I mean, the combined score, I don't even think did Kent State even score on Tennessee last week? No, they did not. Fucking 71-0 last week and 56-0 this week. That combines out to fucking drum roll 127-0 in 2 weeks. Kent State, get your shit together.
We salute you.
We salute you. This one's for you. Let me crack open a Mountain Dew voltage. Utah barely scooted past Oklahoma State, which again I can't really say I'm that surprised, but yeah, Oklahoma State. We both thought Ollie Gordon III was going to be the best running back in the country, and boy were we wrong.
Well,
And then
that was the hype leading up into the season.
um, RIP whoever decided to watch Arkansas versus Auburn. It was a
I
fucking
watched about.
snooze fest of a game.
I will say this: Auburn came out at the beginning of that game. They were hitting some motherfuckers. I mean, they were laying some vicious hits on Arkansas, but I mean, it didn't help them because they fucking
Mm-mm.
suck. Auburn's ass.
I mean, to be
I don't
to
know.
be fair, both of them suck.
Well, yeah. I mean, you're not wrong about that.
I mean, all respect in the world due to both of them, but like, you know, Arkansas is not what they were a couple years ago, and Auburn has just been on a very, very slow decline. And it's been kind of sad to watch, honestly, because Auburn is a team I don't hate in the SEC, but I just I've never really cared one way or another about them. But when they start like just dropping off the face of the fucking earth, it's just like, good lord.
Oh yeah.
See, this is what happens when you decide to be the Tigers, and then you like, yeah, War Eagle. It's like you need to pick an animal. Like you get one mascot, and that's it. And I say that as a fan of the Rebel Black Bear Land Sharks. Look, we got to pick one.
Rebel
Goddamn,
Black Bear Land Shark.
we already know that Alabama calls themselves a Crimson Tide because they can't spell fucking elephant over there. Bryant Denny, 102,000 people. They might have 102 teeth between all of them. And I mean, like, I get it. I get it. I know it's all an allegory, but you got to figure it out. Um, South Florida is in their second very close game with a top 10 team this year, right now in Miami. Um, Actually, they're in South Florida. So in South Florida, in Miami, like the university, not the game today, but with them being in South Florida, that's really the only place I can. I don't really know the geography. I know they're not in fucking Key West, but I do feel like I think I don't know where exactly they're from, but I do know that Miami is, you know, Cam Ward. Like I said earlier, he's been doing a really good job over there, quarterbacking for the Hurricanes. But it's just, I don't know. I don't see him winning the Heisman personally. Um, Between that, we also have Tennessee and Oklahoma. They are at halftime. Tennessee is up 19-3. Kind of how I figured that game would go. Um, Maybe a little bit more scoring from Oklahoma, but otherwise, that's pretty much par for the course. Tennessee. This is something that me and Harley do disagree on. I've been highly impressed with Tennessee this year. And I do feel like Oklahoma was their first real big challenge, but rankings can be a bit deceiving sometimes. And even I have to say, Oklahoma is not a 15th in the country caliber team. And that's like if you've watched any of their games, it's not really a surprise. But they did what they had to, and they're going to have to pull their shit together in the second half if they expect to give Tennessee a run for their money because Tennessee's got one of the best defenses and offenses in the country so far. So, and it's proven to be true in this game as well. So we will see how that goes for them. And yeah, we got 4 seconds left in the second quarter with Ole Miss and Georgia Southern about to go into halftime, 24-7. And congrats to Georgia Southern for being the first team to score a touchdown on us this year. I'm imagining once we actually start our SEC games, it's probably going to be a lot of back and forth action. But I don't know, dude. I feel very, very confident in Ole Miss. And to kind of go back to what I was saying, if Ole Miss beats Georgia somehow by the grace of God this year, and we somehow go 12-0, we're going to the Natty. I can't say with confidence that we'll win it, but we're going to go. And right now, Texas just fucking sodomizing Louisiana Monroe. RIP General Booty. He's on pace to have arguably the worst game at quarterback ever seen. Um, I remember looking like pretty much at the top of the second quarter. Oh boy, yeah, he's 3 of 12, 34 yards and an interception. That's pretty ass. Uh, but other than that, we do hope that Louisiana Monroe can at least give them some sort of a challenge because Lord forbid, man, it's 28-3. I mean, good Lord, y'all got to do something. Just another field goal at the very least. Yeah, man, fucking General Booty just needs to get his head out of his ass. 3 of 12 for 34 yards and an interception is no bueno. I don't care if you're playing Texas or not.
No, and he came from Oklahoma, so you think he'd have a little bit of, you know. They could have a little bit of experience with it, but I don't know. Maybe it's just a talent difference down there. I guess. I don't know what the fuck they got going on.
I mean, it is
But I will
Louisiana
say,
Monroe, so we're not expecting miracles out of you, but Jesus Christ, they're dog walking you, man.
yeah, put up a little bit of a fight. Damn, something bad just happened to a California player. He got picked up and put on a card out here.
Hmm. Hopefully he's all right.
Yeah, I turned it on this game because it's a barn burner. It's Florida State's up 7-6 on California
Hmm.
with a minute 43 in the third left. Hopefully that's over with.
Yeah, that's
Hopefully
all you
that
can hope
dude.
for.
Hopefully that dude is. I mean, he's just laying back. I hope he's. I hope he's all right.
Hopefully it's yeah, hopefully it's nothing too serious. I mean, oh, we already know Florida State's upset just from the state of their season so far, but that ain't
Damn.
no excuse to go around and start fucking hitting, like trying to injure people.
Yeah, it was
Goddamn
a.
bunch of losers.
I don't know how to say his name. He's a Polynesian. He was up for Polynesian Player of the Year. I mean, I don't want to mispronounce his name for California, number 71. I think his last name is Vatiki, Vatiki or Vatikiki. But
Yeah,
either way, yeah, I don't know exactly what happened, but he was down and they had to pick him up, put him on the stretcher. He's an offensive lineman. California is attempting a 51-yard field goal to put him up 9-7, and by God, he put it through.
that's what you
It's
love to
nine to
see.
seven.
Let's go, Golden Bears.
Come on, this is a Atlantic Coastal Conference division Atlantic Coastal Conference game.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
love going to the Atlantic coast to California.
that's right.
It's fucking
But
stupid, dude. Like, man, that's what's kind of sad about it. Like, that's actually, I'm glad you brought that up, dude, because the pack is actually got like I think four teams that are going to be coming to the pack this next season. And if I'm remembering correctly, it is San Diego State, Boise State, Fresno State, and Colorado State.
Colorado State.
So yeah, this is going to be like the pack state. Um,
Hmm.
we'll have the city and state division, and I guess you love to see it, but
Oh shit! Bowling Green is up. Texas A&M got up 20-10. Bowling Green just scored. It's 20-17.
that's that
Come
Bowling
on,
Green offense for you.
come on, Bowling Green. Hell, Bowling Green almost beat Penn State last week.
Well, I know Bowling Green, dude. The MAC has come out swinging this year. Truthfully,
Oh
like,
yeah,
and then
besides
there's
Kent
Kent
State.
State, but you know you can't all have good teams. Like you gotta have you gotta have a stepping stool kind of team. And for this year, the SEC is absolutely Mississippi State, which
Oh, without a doubt.
y'all probably thinking as an Ole Miss fan, I probably hate Mississippi State. Well, you're wrong. Actually, I feel sorry for them more often than not. Because I like seeing teams from Mississippi do well. That's just like the homer in me. Like anytime I see, and it's kind of like since I've been up here in Oregon, like all the Oregon fans, they don't. They're like, I'll ask them, is like, you like the Beavs? They're like, no, not really. And I'll be like, who's your team you hate? And they just like, huck the Fuskies, get that Washington bullshit out of here. Like you would not imagine the amount of hatred that came from all these Ducks fans this last fucking national championship. When Washington actually made the national championship, all the Oregon fans just blew a fuse. It was kind of sad to see, but you know, um, but that's kind of where I'm at with Mississippi State. Like if they do well, I'm just like fuck it, yeah, go Bulldogs. Ring your little cowbell. But good lord, I don't think that time's coming for a long time. Um, a team we haven't really talked about today from the SEC is Florida. Let me tell you something about Billy Napier.
You
Y'all
fucking
should have never
suck.
fired Dan Mullen. Y'all should have never fired Dan Mullen. I'm sorry. Like y'all pretty much fired him for going 8-4, and then thought Billy Napier was going to come in and do something. Congratulations, he's 12-16. Um,
Congratulations, you dumb as fuck.
yeah, and now y'all want Lane Kiffin? What? So you can fire him for going 9-3? You bunch of dipshits? No, he's happy in Oxford. Leave him alone.
Dude, it showed a
Um,
stat a while ago that was crazy. It said, when was the last time Mississippi State and Florida both had, like, not at the same time, but when was the last time they had double digit win seasons? And the last time Dan Mullen was the coach for both of them.
yeah,
Like, and I'm like, dude, why? Why did y'all fire him? It doesn't make sense. Like, he left state, that wasn't on them. Because State would have State would have kept Dan Mullen for the rest of his life.
Dan
Because
Mullen should still be at Mississippi State, dude. Like they would be a perennial top 25 team. It would be like every up until we got Lane Kiffin. I don't think we would have beat them.
probably
Like
not.
they were just like Dan Mullen is an insanely good coach, and then he goes to Florida, and of course Florida. That's the thing that gets me about Florida is like y'all haven't really won a national championship since y'all had like Urban Meyer and fucking Tim Tebow, and then you want to turn around and just like start spouting this like just like you don't even have to actively say it, dude. Like it's like y'all have such high standards for your school. It's like you're wanting to make caviar out of fucking tuna fish, and that's just not happening, is it? You know, I don't really like. I feel like this is karma for firing Dan Mullen, and that's simply put, that's what it is.
Yep. And like, look at both of the teams. Like Mississippi State hasn't done nothing since Dan Mullen left. And well, I take that back. They did have Mike Leach. Mike Leach dying. That
Well,
like,
yeah, they got up in the top 25, and RIP the Pirate for sure.
I mean, he had them playing good, man, and he was the best thing for
He had Will
oh,
Rogers looking like the best quarterback in the SEC.
dude.
That's how good of a coach Mike Leach is, or
And then
was, respectfully.
as soon as he wasn't there for a season, like Will Rogers had a different coach, he went back to looking like ass.
Hmm. So now he's up in Washington, just struggling.
Like
Like,
ass. Dude, he's not that good. Like Mike Leach just had like Mike Leach is just one of the best college coaches of all time. I don't know what to fucking tell you.
he's definitely one of the best quarterback-centered coaches of all time. Like, if it comes to like an air raid playbook, Mike Leach was that guy. And
Oh yeah, man, them Texas Tech teams back in the day, like when we were growing up,
oh my
man, that
god,
was so
dude,
fun to watch.
fucking that Michael Crabtree play alone. Like, really,
Oh
that's
yeah,
more of a testament to Michael Crabtree. But
that whole game
man,
was fucking insane though, because Graham Harrell, people, points to anybody who remembers him. I mean, he was, dude. That just goes to show you, like Graham Harrell was like getting looked at it like, as one of the best quarterbacks in the country because of Mike Leach. I mean, that just goes to show you just how damn good, like just how good he was as a coach.
yeah, no, he was something, man. And
But
you know,
other than that, like Mississippi State hadn't done shit, besides
nope.
him.
Outside of Isaac Smith,
Yeah, that's the best thing they have going for them. And it's not up for debate. It's not a discussion. It's a fact of life. Yeah.
yeah. Let me talk to you.
Little LA Knight promo for you.
Fucking
Oh my
shout out
God.
Kevin
Oh
Nash
my
for calling
God.
LA
Oh
Knight.
my God. Bowling Green just blocked the fucking punt.
Oh shit.
Bowling Green blocked the punt and they got the ball inside the 10-yard line. Holy shit. I know I just yelled. I didn't mean to bust anybody's eardrums out if you're listening, but holy shit. I'm witnessing this shit live. Oh my God. That is fucking crazy.
What an
Come on, Bowling.
eventful season this has been so far.
Yeah, hey, every time we've done a college football podcast, I've been watching some crazy shit go down. Like when Montana State they went 87 yards and beat New Mexico.
Yeah,
And now
everybody's like, how is that an upset? Well, an FCS team hypothetically shouldn't beat an FBS team, so there you go.
damn, Bowling Green's got a fast quarterback.
Oh yeah, he does. You got to run away from fucking Sean Dolick. So I mean,
Yeah, that's true.
that's pretty much the whole game plan. It's like pray for rain when you play Buffalo.
Oh, never mind. Hold up. Never mind. They were in a Wildcat. That was a running back. No wonder he's fast.
Oh
All
well,
right, here's
I'd
the
hope they're
honky.
running back as fast.
Here's the honky.
Go
He
honky.
hands. Oh my God! Halfback pass. Oh damn! Missed it. Man, Bowling Green's pulling out some shit right now. All right, boys, don't get too damn cute. Come on, it's third goal. Need a damn. I
I feel
mean, he
like
had him
outside
wide
of
open.
that, we go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just commenting on the game. That's all. I
Oh,
was
you're
just
all good.
commentating.
Fucking third and long, brother. It's probably not even that. But oh, outside of that, some other things we'll touch on with college football is I would say, you know, everything that's happened today. Obviously, you had like the most exciting games in the world to watch, like Liberty and East Carolina. If if that's your cup of tea, I'm sorry. You better pour it out. But you also had some actual bangers today, like fucking Minnesota and Iowa, and that's turning into a pretty decent game, all things considered. You
Oh
know.
yeah, that's not even. I mean, hell, there's still some games like the late games. Honestly, are where it's at, man. Like these games are gonna be on late at night. Like those are the ones to watch if you stay up late.
hmm You'll be
But
rewarded for your
I mean, oh yeah,
treachery.
and I think Bowling Green, dude. I hope they can do it. They're starting goal right now, but I mean, they might be able to come out here and get an upset. I'd love it. I don't know.
Oh,
I
you
just
can
hope
hope
they
so.
get an upset. Come on, boys. Come on. Pass interference. Throw the flag. You son of a bitch. They're trying to damn cheat them out. Dude, that was Pat. Whatever. Fuck them. They're trying to get them SEC pussies to win.
Hmm.
But yeah, the damn. I mean, South Florida's probably going to beat Miami. Nah, I don't know. Like, 24-5, Washington and Northwestern.
Hmm.
Ohio State
Sorry,
and Ohio State. I'll talk about them a little bit. Holy shit, Bowling Green missed a fucking. They missed a field goal. What the fuck? They are just out here trying to screw them, bro. They missed a field goal. Shut up. Texas A&M is a bunch of freaking. Texas A&M is like a cult out there. I don't want to hear them bullshit. They shouldn't.
we're the
No.
12th man.
Bowling Green. Whatever. He made that shit. They just said he didn't. But I mean, I'll talk a little bit about Ohio State. Not much to talk about. It's just my favorite team, so I'll touch on it a little bit. Beat Marshall 49-14. Honestly, probably could have been worse, but Ohio State don't
Y'all
really do
did
all that.
started off the game pretty slow though.
Yeah, I mean Marshall came down there and got a touchdown early on. Um, but then we have this guy named. Let me check my notes. You might know him. Quinchon Judkins.
Hail Mary, full of grace. Please come back to Kiffin's place.
Dude, this guy Quinchon Judkins is just a beast. Like I've known he's a beast when he was at Ole Miss, but man, watching him in Ohio State, he just whew,
It's
14
different,
yard,
doesn't it?
14 carries, 14 carries, 173 yards, 12 and a half average, 2 touchdowns. He had an 86-yard touchdown run. I mean, insane. Travion Henderson, the backup, he had 6 yards, 6 yards. Good Lord. 6 carries, 76 yards, averaged 12.7 a carry. He had 2 touchdowns as well. James Peoples, he had 6 carries, 31 yards. I mean, man, Ohio State's got their running back room is fucking crazy.
Yeah, y'all
And
got probably, I would say, the most stacked running back room in the country. If
yeah, not
yeah,
no.
I would. Yeah, there's no debate.
And I
Because you
just
have
have to
guys
say,
that'll
like,
go out there. Go ahead.
I just gonna say, like, people like, oh, Ohio State, they're in the Big Ten, they don't play anybody. But fuck off. They listen. If Ohio State wasn't as good as they are, they wouldn't be a national championship contender every fucking year. So like, because we can play with we can play the Georgias and Alabamas and whoever else. Like we can play the big schools. Like I don't really understand that. Now I do understand like Ryan. Besides the game against Georgia and stuff, like Ohio State hasn't really been a big threat because Ryan Day he hasn't stepped up and shown that he's that dude yet. He's just he's just been there and like kind of coasted along and I don't know. I want him to obviously I want him to do well. I just this our year, we gotta break the streak. Like we gotta break that 3 game streak against Michigan and get us back in that damn 90 picture. Um, we need to win the Big Ten more than anything. Like we need it just to win the Big Ten again and then get back in the 90 picture. I mean, which will be easier with the 12 team playoffs too. So I don't know. I'm hoping Ohio State and Ole Miss is going to be our. I'm hoping that's going to be the natty. Uh, but that's just wishful thinking, I guess. Um, but yeah, I mean, outside of that, I mean, any other teams like I guess some other game, like Rutgers beat Virginia Tech. That was
Right, I was there.
that was a good game.
I'm not even being sarcastic. That is kind of a surprise. But I mean, where was it at?
The what?
I said that I was saying a big surprise there, and I wasn't. I'm not even being sarcastic. But where were they playing at?
Um,
Were they in Piscataway, New Jersey?
no, actually, I think they were in. I don't even know what they call their. I don't even know what Virginia Tech calls their place, but I'm
I
pretty
guess the
sure.
place that Metallica built, but considering that's
Yeah, they were
like
in Virginia. They were at Virginia Tech.
yeah, if I'm not mistaken, dude, I think Metallica actually played like fucking Enter Sandman for him today. If I'm not mistaken, I might be mistaken. I thought I'd read somewhere that Metallica was going to wind up because like to anybody listening that y'all don't know, the Virginia Tech Hokies every time they have a home game, they walk out to Enter Sandman, and as soon as the beat drops on that song, they all rush out. And admittedly, I'm not a Virginia Tech fan, nor am I really a massive Metallica fan, especially, fucking Enter Sandman. But as far as being like a walkout, like a tradition for a football team, that shit's gas, dude. Like,
Oh, yeah,
admittedly, that shit's that's badass, dude. That's a pretty badass tradition to have.
but it's like we talked about. I mean, Enter Sandman's been overplayed, but it is a great walkout song for whoever does it. Like
Oh, yeah.
just thinking about all the people, like just think about Virginia Tech and then think about Sandman from ECW and when he showed up to WWE, like when he used to walk out to enter Sandman, like fucking badass, dude.
Yeah, I'd say he's the GOAT. But,
Man,
speaking of GOATs, though, We're talking about Jackson Dart came out of halftime with 250 yards, 250. Now, obviously, that isn't what we did to Furman at the start of the year. I think that motherfucker had like 418 yards at halftime. Of course, it's also Furman, so which to the FCS, all credit where it's due, they're a really good FCS level team. They went to the playoffs this last year, so I'm not going to give them all that much slack, but like that's when I knew Ole Miss was going to have a special season when they just absolutely beat the goddamn brakes off of them. And yeah, I mean, our running back room, I mean, we got a pretty good running back room. I mean, between Henry Parrish Jr. doing what he does, and then you got Matt Jones and our other guys, we have solid running backs. And even Jackson Dart running out there getting 20 yards, long of 12 yards so far. But, every time Jackson Dart touches the ball, dude, magic just happens. I mean, we already got the ball back. We're on the 11-yard line right now. Probably about to get another touchdown. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a thrown one. I would like to see that sugar spread just a little bit, see Henry Parrish get him a touchdown real quick, because if y'all haven't watched Henry Parrish Jr., like, that's one of the reasons I wasn't nearly as upset as I was when we lost Quinshon Judkins, because it's like, yeah, that Parrish Jr. dude we got, he's a fucking stud. And obviously, yep, we already scored a touchdown. So, like, yeah, 284 yards, 11 minutes left in the third quarter. That's pretty much all I got to say about that. And the score's about to be 31-7 Ole Miss. Shout out Georgia Southern for, popping the touchdown cherry on Ole Miss's season so far. And other than that, man, let's break into these basketball predictions.
I bet we can do it. I mean, I'll just go ahead and say San Antonio Spurs are winning the NBA championship. Victor Wembanyama's about to show you why he's the greatest of all time.
I'm not
Hate to
even going
break
to argue with that. He's on the trajectory.
hate to break it down to you like that, but it is what it is. And that's why I rigged our uh, NBA fantasy league. That way, I can get the first pick and get Wemby again. Actually, you had him last year, but
Honestly, what was funny
I
about
know.
that, I picked Wemby just because I was like, I feel like he's about to have a special year, but then he went out and had a year that I didn't even think a rookie could fucking have. Like, I didn't know rookies could just come into the league that damn good just immediately. And admittedly, he did start a little slow, like as far as like for fantasy. And then everybody's like, oh, he's a bust because he's not averaging a quadruple. Bam, he starts averaging like 3.5 blocks a game. And you're like, oh, well, shit. Like, and yeah,
It's a
immediately,
triple
like he's
double
on
block.
trajectory to be one of the best, like one of the best players of all time, and he's on trajectory to like be the all-time blocks leader. And if y'all don't know how insane that concept is, leading all-time blocks, Hakeem Olajuwon, mistaken, is the either Dikembe Mutombo or I think it's Dikembe Mutombo, but second place is closer to seventh on the blocks list. So he's already on trajectory. He plays 20 years. He's going to be like 20 blocks. He's going to be like 200 blocks ahead of Hakeem. And that's actually crazy to think about. So, I think that personally, I think the Spurs are going to be a definitely like a play-in guarantee. They may break into like that 1 through 6 and not even have to worry about the play-in. But time will tell.
Yeah, I think the West, honestly, it's kind of up for grabs. To be
For
honest,
sure. Like,
I mean,
yeah,
I know you're gonna have, of course, you're gonna have your Nuggets. Like you're gonna have the Thunder, Nuggets, and Timberwolves in there, and and hell,
the
they could be the
Mavs.
top three. Um, well, they can't be the top three because they gotta have another. You know, you gotta have like whoever wins the Pacific and the Southwest. But I mean, those are probably three playoff teams. I mean, hell, the Clippers.
I think the Clippers are so historically mid that they will probably make the playoffs and do fuck all with it. Because that's just what the Clippers do. You
Yeah.
know, it's
I
like
mean,
they get all of their fans just so hyped up. It's like, yeah, Kawhi Leonard is going to do great. And then a decade ago, it was, oh, Chris Paul, he's going to do great. And then like another 10 years before that, oh, Corey McGiddy and Elton Brand, they're gonna do the thing. Well, what have you done? Exactly. Shut the fuck up.
shit.
Um,
The Clippers will probably win the Pacific. I mean, truthfully, I don't. I mean, they have Phoenix, Lakers, Kings, Warriors. Warriors are out. I feel like the Lakers are probably going to be out. The Kings, they haven't really done anything to progress their team, so I don't. It's kind of hard for me to say. They'll probably be a play-in at best, I believe. I mean, they have the talent, but they haven't done anything to improve. Like I said, improve or progress the team. So I really can't say that. You know.
yeah, they've not done much to actually like keep up
Yeah.
with what the West is doing right now. So
So I'm gonna say, like, honestly, out of the Pacific, it's probably gonna be the Clippers. It's probably the only team, honestly, because Phoenix is. I mean, I don't have faith in that shit. You know, negative defense, no bench. I mean, what?
yeah,
I
it's
mean,
like
really, what do you
they're
think's
trying
gonna
to win
happen?
with a 3-man roster essentially, and that's just not gonna fucking work.
Yep. And like the Southwest, dude. Southwest is gonna be tough. Which I know the Spurs are in there. Um, the Spurs. I feel like the Spurs will be a playoff team or play-in team for sure, or sneak in that way. I think they could sneak in. And honestly, if they're a play-in team, they might mess around and be the first play-in team to win a game and get to the playoffs.
Yeah,
So they'll be sneaky. They'll be sneaky. I'll say. Obviously, I was joking about Spurs winning the whole thing. I'm just saying that because I'm a Spurs fan, but you know, I do believe they could be a sneaky playing team. That's about where I would be excited just to see that. I'm not gonna if we could win 40 game like if we could win 42 game like get over 500, dude. I'd be excited as hell. I'm not gonna lie to you. I would be over the moon because that would be if we say we won 42 games, that'd be a 20 game increase from last year. And Wimby's probably gonna win DPOY. But Dallas is in there. Dallas is more than likely Dallas will win. Um, but I mean the Southwest Conference is stacked, dude. Because like you got, I mean Dallas is they're a contender obviously. The Pelicans, they're a playing bound team. Like they're around that area. You got Houston. Houston has a young team. They finished 500 last year. I mean, Houston could make a run, dude. Like Houston could get hot at any point, and hell, they could be a good. I mean, hell, they could be a playoff team. Honestly, like skip the play in, be a playoff. Like because Houston has the team down there, and they got a good coach, and they have shit going in the right direction. So I'm kind of excited to see how that goes.
yeah. They got Ma
Um,
can't keep my dick in my pants Udoka down there,
yeah,
and you know. I feel like I was gonna say part of me is just like I feel like Boston made a mistake, and I know that's probably kind of funny to say just because they just came off a championship. But I'm sorry, Ime Udoka is a better coach than the fucker they got now. I'm sorry. That's just the simple truth of it. I don't care what y'all say to me in the comments. Like it's the truth. Okay. And
yep,
if you don't believe me, look at where Houston was last year, like season before last, and look what they did this year.
yep.
Like, and I'm still standing by Alperin Sengun. The Turkish tornado is going to be one of the is probably like the backbone of their team, especially on offense. Dude, that's
Yeah.
baby Jokic.
And damn, after that, I mean, you got Memphis, which Memphis could do. Like if John Morant's healthy next year, we need Kenny on here so we can talk about some Memphis. But like, I mean, the Grizzlies, with John Morant's there, and they can get a little bit of help around them. I mean, they
That's
could
a
be a
scary
playing
team
team.
too, man.
Yeah, they could be a playing team for sure, if not a
Yeah,
playoff
I
team.
don't really see much past that just because John Morant is definitely out of practice, all things considered.
Yeah,
But I don't think he is so out of practice that he can't go back and start averaging 25, 5, and 5, dude. Like he's got that capability in him. And yeah, I do wish Kenny was on here just because like that's his team. I mean, he is from Memphis, so I mean that just comes with the
yeah.
territory. Um, I do
I think.
like we're not even we'll probably gloss past my team because like we're probably going to be the worst team in the West. So
I mean, that's
that's not even
in the Southwest. I mean, I guess we can pick our division winners or who we think will win the division. Then we can kind of go from there. I think Dallas will probably win the Southwest. I think Clippers will win the Pacific again. And I mean, hell, honestly, I mean, okay, it's gonna be close between OKC and Denver again. Like it's gonna be close between them two.
no for sure. I'm ready to see it though. I'm like, I'm more of a basketball fan than I am of any sport. I'm a huge, huge basketball fan, and I'm a huge, huge Jokic fan. But more than anything, I'm a Blazers fan. And let me just tell you how painful that's been. We did get rid of Damian Lillard, and I'm part of the probably the minority that thinks this like, spread your wings and be free from the bullshit that is Portland. Because like we only lost like 6 more games without him. And we ended pretty much bottom of the West last year. So anybody saying, "Oh, well, getting rid of Damian was stupid," is like, well, what's stupid is expecting Damian to carry us to a championship by his fucking self. This team was cooked as soon as we got rid of CJ McCollum. That's
Yep.
just the truth of it. And everybody expecting like wanting Damian to pull this like, oh well, I thought you were loyal, I thought you were gonna want to play with the team. It's like, no, dude. Like the actual fans of Damian are like, dude, go to a team where you actually have a chance because you are way too good of a player to not win a fucking ring. Like I'm happy with him being in Milwaukee, but I just I don't think that Scoot Henderson and DeAndre Ayton is the answer to all of our problems because we got a lot of problems. Um, should have never got rid of Terry Stotts. We can start there. Should have never got rid of CJ McCollum. Um, Brandon Roy, Greg Oden, LaMarcus Aldridge. We had them and Damian Lillard all on the same team at one point. I'll let you chew on that for just a minute. And but yeah, my prediction coming out of the West this year is probably OKC because I feel like last year was definitely a learning experience for them, and I think this year they're actually going to be ready to like do something with it. But heading over to the East real quick, I don't see Boston going back to back. And it's not that they don't have the talent for it, but like this is a team that everybody and their mom has been saying is going to be the ones winning the finals for a good oh I don't know 6 years now, and you can count it as seven, including this year, because everybody's like, oh well, they're the favorites, they just won. Well, when is the reigning champion never not the favorites? I
Yeah.
thought Denver was going to win it last year. Guess who? Guess who didn't even get to the fucking Western Conference Finals? So, with that being said, we can go ahead and go through the divisions in the East real quick.
Yeah.
The Atlantic, you know, I don't, I don't, I don't really hold much stock into the Brooklyn Nets just as a whole. Um, I feel like Jay Z said it best: the Nets could go 0-82, and I'd look at you like this shit gravy. He's really trying to make that shit a reality, and I have a lot of faith in some of the players on that team, but as a whole, like, dude, they ain't doing shit this year. I'm sorry. Like, if we got any Nets fans listening, I hate to break it to you, but it's kind of like the kind of the one of the laughing stocks in the East right now, and it's different from like the Detroit Pistons and the Washington Wizards because these are teams we know suck. These are teams that really don't have that talent and coaching ratio that could actually put them to the top of even their divisions. But it's just not going to work. Um, I think Boston. I've pretty much already given my thoughts on that. Um, the Knicks. I feel like they're going to be the team to actually come on top of the Atlantic Division this year. There's Jalen Brunson. I mean, they're pretty much building Villanova 2.0 up there at Madison Square Garden, and feel like they're definitely a team to watch out for this year. And just to be honest, like the Knicks themselves are a team that's like, when they do good, it just seems like all things are right in the NBA. I'm not even a Knicks fan, but like that's just kind of the truth of it. They're a team that it's weird when they're not good.
Yep.
Historically speaking, they're usually like one of the teams in the East that's always a powerhouse, always a team to watch out for. And this last 10 years, it's just been like, what the fuck are y'all doing, man?
Yep. They finally figured it out. I
Yeah,
mean, the
they
last
definitely did.
2 years, like,
Just
I
draft
think
out of Villanova.
better. Yep. I think they're just getting better, man. I think I'm with you. I think Knicks are going to surprise everyone and win the Atlantic Division. Probably, honestly, end up probably being the first seed
Yeah.
or second seed, depending on how Orlando does. But yeah, like Boston and New York, and then you got Philadelphia, which
Hmm.
the Sixers. We'll just say it like this: me and Trevor have talked about this many of hours. Um, at like Joel Embiid just ain't that dude, and when he gets to the playoffs, lights are too bright. I mean, he's not gonna do it. He's just I don't know how to spell it out for you any more than he's just not that dude for him. Like, yeah, he can carry him, and he has to carry him in the regular season, and or I mean, which he's finally got help with Tyrese Maxey, but hell, Tyrese Maxey can't do everything himself when Joel goes up when he goes down because Joel's going to eventually get injured during the season, and that's just a fact of life.
And it's not like we're wishing injuries upon him either. He just goes out and does the shit. Like,
Yep.
I feel like part of it is like, they're probably overplaying him. As fragile, like as physically fragile as he is, I feel like they push him way too hard on the court, which I mean, compared to all the other talent they have on the team, like the talent is there. It's just the coaching is not. And that's just kind of a fact, It's unfortunate. I mean, I'm not I can't even say like with confidence that Joel Embiid is even going to be like an MVP candidate the way that, he has been these past 3 years. Past four technically, but you're looking at a dude that didn't even play his first two seasons because of injuries. And now that he's actually finally come into his own, we're seeing these flashes of greatness that he is capable of. But does it carry over into the playoffs? Hell no.
Hell
It's
no.
just like by the time he gets to the playoffs, he's so broken and beaten down that you're pretty much having to put all of the points, all the rebound, and all the scoring, like all of just everything, onto all these other players, and they're just not good enough, you know. And especially with the coaching, it's not going to work,
Nope.
and it's kind of sad to see, honestly. And they just signed him to like $193 million extension for 3 years, so I think that's like 65 million a year, pretty much, like somewhere in that ballpark. And respectfully, he's when he if he was healthy, he'd be worth that, but he's not healthy, so you do the math.
Yep. And I mean, you
And then
got the
there's the
net.
Toronto Raptors. Anyway, we're
Well,
going to go to the Central Division.
yeah, that's about it. They're going to be at the bottom. I mean, I don't know what
They're-
else to do.
Between them or the Nets, dude,
Yeah.
because, I mean,
Nets
at
and
least
Raptors,
the,
they might sweat like because last year it went Nets fourth, Raptors fifth. Hell, they might swap, but either way, they're not making the playoffs. It's just a shit show. So that's that. Yeah, going on to the Central Division, you have Milwaukee, the
Milwaukee.
Cavs, Pacers, Bulls, and Pistons. And it's, dude, I wouldn't. I mean, Milwaukee should finish first. I mean, you got Thanasis Antetokounmpo. You should be.
Yeah, I mean, you got Brooke Lopez and Thanasis Antetokounmpo. I mean, you got the two best players on that team. And then, I mean, you might get a little bit of help from Damian Lillard and this dude named Johnny Antetokounmpo. And I feel like through the times, I think he's proven himself. Like I guess he won a couple MVPs one time or something, but maybe a Finals MVP. But I just like no jokes aside. They should finish top of the Central Division because the Central Division is definitely. I mean, the first three teams in that division were only 2 games apart. So I do feel like it is going to come down to the wire between who wins that division. But honestly, this year, I think it's going to be the Pacers. Tyrese Halliburton has is the engine for one of the scariest offenses in the league. I think the biggest downfall for them is definitely defense. And if they're expecting to do anything this year as far as winning games, you could put up 130 points, but if you're giving up 135 points, I mean, it's a miracle that they even finished with a winning record, to be honest. But Tyrese Halliburton is absolutely coming into his own. He's one of the best distributors in the league. And I feel like with the scoring machines they have out there right now, don't be surprised to see them up near the top of the Eastern rankings as a whole. But I feel like that's my prediction. The Pacers are going to be the first seed. I think the Bucks and the Cavs are going to fight for the second and third seed. Personally, it's probably going to be Milwaukee and then the Cavs. But Donovan Mitchell is terrifying when he's on his game. And then it's like every fourth game, he just damn near costs his team the game.
Yeah.
And they can't like he's going to have to be a lot more consistent if they're going to expect to do
Make a
anything
push.
except for just be like second round merchants the way they have been the past few years.
Yep.
But other than that, oh boy, we're talking about the Chicago Bulls. Fun fact: if you turn the Chicago Bulls logo upside down, it looks like a robot fucking a crab, and I've always thought that was hilarious. But like the Detroit Pistons going to the Southeast Conference, we're going to be talking about Orlando. And no, jokes aside, Detroit, I mean, Cade Cunningham has potential to be a really, really good player. I mean, we're seeing flashes of it, but are they going to do anything? You
Probably not.
decide. The Chicago Bulls, I feel like, Kobe White absolutely had his breakout year this last year. He's doing everything he possibly can as far as trying to carry this broken, beaten, fucking demoralized team. But there's only so much you can do, man. Like, I mean, you're like their whole game plan is hopefully Lonzo Ball's going to be healthy, and that's not it. So
Yep.
here's hoping to a little bit of success with the Bulls. They haven't really been shit since Derrick Rose got injured, and I mean Jimmy Buckets was doing his thing over there, but speaking of Jimmy Buckets, we're going to the Southeast Division, and the Miami Heat finishing second place in the Southeast behind who would have thunk it, Orlando. And I'm going to be honest, dude, Orlando's my favorite to come out of the East this year.
Yeah. I mean, I picked Orlando, what, 3 years ago
Yeah.
to be like, to be a team to watch out for in 2 years. And by God, look what they did last year. I mean,
Yeah.
Orlando's been my team in the East. They've been my sleeper team the last few years. I mean, and now look at them. They're fun. They are a young team. They are exciting to watch. Like they really do. They make basketball fun as hell. Like I love watching the Orlando Magic. They have something special going down there, and they're gonna make a big noise, big splash in this playoff this upcoming year. Just watch. I'm not saying they're gonna come out of it. I mean, that would be cool. I'd like it. I mean, I don't know if they'll come out of these, but I think they will. Well, I think they could. I'm not going to guarantee that. Um, but I will say Orlando. I'm going to pick them to be the Eastern. I think they're going to go to the Eastern Conference Finals this year.
Yeah. And I mean, I feel like that's an astute observation because I mean that team they're building down there, man. Franz Wagner, fucking Paulo Banquero. Like, I mean, they've got some heavy hitters on that team, dude. And just as a whole, their defense last year was stunning. They played a very hard nosed kind of basketball last year, and I feel like it's going to be pretty much the same thing this year. And don't be surprised if they wind up making the finals. Even like I know it's a bit of a hot take, and I know like the history of Orlando these past several years, especially like all signs are pointing to them like going right down the bucket. But dude, I feel like they've improved quite a bit this year, and I feel like they're so young. It's like the Thunder, dude. Like they're this team, the roster they have right now, because like historically speaking, Orlando has never really had like a stacked team. It's always been like one really, really good player and then, you know, a bunch of role players. This year they actually have multiple people that are like all-star caliber. Like
Oh
I
yeah,
just I feel like this is the team to watch out for in the East. But going down the list, Miami, again, this is a team I feel like last year with all the injuries they had, they were playing above their own ability. And like you even saw that in the 2022 finals and the playoffs. They went from the eighth seed all the way to the finals. And, you know, it didn't really surprise me that they lost because the 2022 Nuggets were absolutely insane. But, I feel like a deep playoff run is still not out of the question for them. But going down the last three, boy howdy, we're talking about the Atlanta Hawks. And like I was talking to Harley about earlier, it seems like every 6 or 7 years, the Atlanta Hawks just absolutely exceed expectations and wind up just doing shit that you wouldn't think was possible. I think, what was it when they had Kyle Korver and all of them back in like, was it 2014, 2015, something like that? And they wound up winning like 20 games in a month. They went
yep,
undefeated. And then they got to the playoffs and boom, 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 boom,
yep.
like
And then
fucking
that
just
hell
nothing. Like,
even what was it? 2020
yeah, like
or
2020 when
20?
they made the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah,
Like, well, it was 2021 actually because it
21.
was them and the Bucks. Yeah, um,
Yeah.
shouldn't have
I mean,
been there. By all means, they should not have been there, but they made the best of that situation and they kicked ass. I was proud of them. Trey Young, I feel like, is arguably the most underrated player in the league because I mean, this is a dude that's been averaging like damn near 30 points and damn near 10 assists. Actually, last year it was like 28 and 11. Didn't even make the All Star team, which I feel like is kind of a slap in the face to him.
yeah.
But I
He's
feel like,
also
go ahead.
no. I'm just gonna say he's also the play-in goat.
Oh yeah, he's the go to the play-in, and didn't really work out that well for him this last year, but he did
He's
play his
like that
ass
was
off.
crazy. He finally lost his first play-in game
Yeah,
last year, which I don't know. That's kind of nuts, but
but the Hornets and the Wizards.
well,
Mm-mm-mm.
boy,
I
that's
don't
a
really
sad.
have anything good to say about either team, man. I feel like
I don't either.
Lamelo Ball has kind of peaked as a player. And I feel like if they're going to expect to actually evolve as a team, Brandon Miller is going to have to step up and be like that really solid number two, maybe even pass up LaMelo Ball and be like the number one guy on their team if they're going to do anything. But I just don't see it happening, at least not this year, maybe in a couple years, but we'll see.
Well,
And
they
the
just,
Wizards,
Michael Jordan
fucking
finally
dog
quit.
water.
Oh, they are a hot flaming pile of shit.
When
Um,
your best player is Kyle Kuzma, I don't even have to go into like what your issues are.
yeah, I mean,
Okay.
dude, they are way worse. They are way worse off than the Pistons. And people think I'm crazy for saying that, but I'm not fucking wrong.
No,
They
not at
at
all.
least the Pistons could hang. At least the Pistons could hang in games last year. These motherfuckers can't even hang in a game. I mean, they are fucking ass, dude. I mean,
And they
this is
won 18%
seriously
of their games. I mean,
the 2023 Washington Wizards might be one of the worst fucking basketball teams I've ever watched in my life. And yes, I am comparing them to the 2010 Charlotte Bobcats.
they didn't even win 10 games. Even though it was a lockout season, they didn't even hit double digits. It looked like Washington was on that
2012,
trajectory.
2012 was it 2012?
It was the lockout season because they went like
Yeah,
9 and
that's what I'm
58 or
thinking.
57 or some shit like that.
Might have been. I said 10. It might have been 12. I can't
But
remember. I don't know. I just
but
remember
that
the.
team,
I mean, yeah, the Bobcats just fucking sucked for the most. For the most part that they were they were a franchise, but yeah, especially that dude, like that game or that team was ass, super ass, and the Wizards are not far off from them. I mean, they are something horrible to watch. So
it ain't
yeah,
pretty.
don't recommend watching them. Um, I mean, yeah, they could. That would be the biggest surprise if they actually came out and did something. Like if if the Wizards came out and actually made a push for a play-in spot, that would be the most insane thing to happen this year.
For sure.
But
You wanna
yeah, I mean,
but
I guess like our, I don't know, we're probably in the same pick. More than likely be, coming out of the East, probably I don't know. I feel like the Magic or Knicks will probably be the team in the East. And in the West,
that'd be a
probably I
solid
think
series to watch too. That's fucking must see TV right there.
yep, and I think OKC can do it. I think OKC can come out of the West, and I mean Minnesota could make a deep run again. I mean, of course, you can't count out Jokic and Murray. When they get to the playoffs. So,
Now they got Russell Westbrook. Oh,
oh yeah, from what 2017? Oh wait, it's 2024. Uh,
yeah. So that ain't a good sign for him, just to be completely honest. But honestly, dude, I feel like somebody that on Denver's team that's gonna make the jumps, fucking P Watt, man. He had an excellent season last year, considering the limited minutes. I feel like with KCP being gone, they're definitely going to have to bring him in more to kind of fill in that defensive hole that they got now.
yeah,
But you know, we will see how that goes. I'm very excited to see how this season goes. And like I said, I'm going to go ahead and lock in my way too early finals prediction. Going to be OKC and Orlando, and I think OKC is going to get it in six.
yeah, way too early. We'll give us
Way
another
too early.
prediction. Yeah, we'll give another prediction out like final like about December. Once the game, after the play-in tournament or after the in-season tournament and all that shit. I mean, we'll give us some more predictions throughout the years. Um, all that stuff. But yeah, what we're gonna be talking about basketball a lot more in the upcoming months. So,
That's right.
you guys just get ready for that. And, we'll keep in touch. We'll be talking about everything. But yeah. As far as that, I guess we're gonna wrap it up and
That's
call
right.
it.
Go ahead and
That's been
wrap it up.
that's been a little bit of your college football recap thus far, and our NBA prediction review and predictions. So just
Yeah,
get ready for some more NBA talk because it's about to happen. And
that's right.
Sco
And
Rebs,
just as a quick little, yeah, Sco Rebs, just as a quick little reminder, looking at the score here real quick, and yeah, fucking 38-10 at the end of the third. So if we blow this lead, I'm going to blow my brains out. And with that being said, we're going to go ahead and probably wrap this up, just call it a night. And we want to thank you for listening to, what is this, our 28th episode?
something like that.
I don't know. It's getting to the point where numbers don't even matter. Fucking, this is episode blue.
I don't
And
know.
we want to thank you for listening. I have been Swaggy T, Trevor, and ye old Hogmaster has been the master of his hog, and good old Harley. And we're going home. We love you guys.
Here we go. Tell my ex-wife to unlock the door again. God damn it, Deborah. I told you I'd give her over.